Hello again, welcome to my channel. I'm Fraser from Metalworking in France. I've got a little machine shop here in southwest France. A local factory has asked me to do a little job. They want 2 of these spindles made up, 50mm diameter here with a taper on the end and a hole in there. 2 of those to make, and also I've got to make 2 of these. These are actually quite big actually. The bore, the hole through the middle is 54mm diameter. So as you can see, they're 150mm long. I can't quite see, I think about 70mm diameter. So let me have a look. Yeah, a 70mm diameter on the outside. So I've got the stock, and it's all cut off to length. Just got to machine the ends of this thing, both ends, then put the chamfer on, or chamfer or leading, and then here, as I say, this is going to be quite a big job. The largest drill I've got that will go in my lathe is 33mm, so I'll have to drill out to 33mm, and then I'll have to bore the rest out to 54mm. So there you go. Let's see how we get on with this job. If you haven't already done so, please subscribe to my channel, and obviously like if you enjoyed this video, and don't forget to press the little bell down in the bottom of your screen there. That will remind you of any videos I put on in the future. And as I say, we'll watch how this video goes. It should be quite interesting, I would think. The amount of boring I've got to do. It's hopefully not going to be boring or monotonous boring, but hopefully it will just be machining boring. Okay, so follow me in the next few frames and see how this job progresses. First thing I need to do here is obviously face off the end of the shaft, and now I'm putting on the chamfer, well, leading edge. It's more of a point or a cone shape on the end of the shaft rather than just a chamfer. Obviously I'm having to wind this manually because basically I don't have an automatic attachment on the lathe to create this shape. So I'm winding this thing manually. I've speeded it up quite considerably because obviously winding it by hand is quite a long process, and as I said earlier, it would get quite boring if I just continued to just wind this along. It actually took about 15 to 20 minutes altogether. So the next operation is to bore out or to drill out initially, pilot drill through the bigger part to make the bush effect. I've put a pilot drill through first, a fairly big one really, because it's got to go through 150mm, which in old money that's approximately 6 inches. So that's had to go quite a long way through. So I couldn't use a very small drill because it just wouldn't reach. So I've put about 9 or 10mm hole in first. Then I've increased this to about 20mm, and then I've gone up to the 30mm or 32mm drill, which is the biggest drill I've got that will fit in into the quill on the tailstock with the taper attachment onto it. So that's not too bad. That's gone in quite well. And then I'm having to bore out using a boring bar to bring this right out to the full diameter that I need. Again, quite a long process. It's because it's going in so deep as well. I'd say the boring bar is quite a long way out of the tool post. So, but it seems to be boring out quite nicely. Using plenty of coolant on it. It's a bit difficult to get a decent picture of it because obviously when the tool post feeds up into the hole, obviously you lose basically what's actually happening inside. But plenty of coolant on it, stop it from getting too hot, and obviously it assists the boring bar because otherwise the boring bar can start ringing in. Basically because it's so long, sticking out, it can vibrate quite a lot. But it's boring out quite nicely. As you can see, I'm now using the wobbler. I've used this before on videos. As you can see, this will centralise itself, run nice and smooth, and then it will kick off. When it kicks off to the side, then we know we've just touched on the side. Well, there you go. That's moved over now. So I can take that up. And then we know that's 5mm, or the centre of that is 5mm from the edge of the material. So then all we need to do is zero the DRO and then wind over 5mm. There you go, we're nearly there. 4.6, 4.7, 4.8, 4.9, little touch over, there. That's 5mm to the center of the wobbler, to the edge of the shaft itself. Yeah, that looks pretty good. So now all I need to do is go from that edge. I'll take this out and put a center drill in. Well, that's a center drill in there. Now I just need to wind this over. I'll zero the y-axis once again, and I know this is 50mm diameter, so I just need to go over 25mm. So I'll set the hand wheel to approximately, or to the zero mark as well, so that I can get a better idea, just to quickly rush it over and then look at the DRO to get the exact reading. So we're going over 25mm. That's 5, 10, 15, 20, and 20, 24.7, 24.8. There you go, 25mm. So that now is in the centre of that shaft. So that's not too bad. I can lock the table now so that it doesn't move from that centre line. Yeah, that's pretty good. So I've just got to put a hole in here, 40mm from this end, which is roughly on. I've got a line there so that I don't think this 40mm needs to be exact. So I can just do it by eye. So we can just switch that on. Yeah, that looks pretty good for me. I'll just wind that up a little bit, make it a little bit faster. There you are. So I've got a centre hole there now, so I can just put a drill in there now. So now I'll just put this 9mm drill through first, just as basically as similar to a pilot hole. So right, we have a little trick here, whereby if I put a piece of emery cloth here, hopefully it should stop this thing from chattering too much. There we are. Still making quite a lot of noise, but I'm afraid that's the way it goes. These sort of jobs can be quite noisy. Squirt some lubricant on that. There we are. Job done. Shouldn't be too bad. Well, there we are. There's the job complete. I can only show you one of each piece. This bit actually goes inside there. It is quite a big clearance fit. This is 50mm diameter. This bore, well, these are 70mm outside diameter and 54mm bore. So it's quite a big clearance, but it's just so that it can be dropped in, I suppose, quite easily. Okay, so that wasn't a bad little job in the end. Quite a lot of machining, because the biggest drill I had was a 32mm drill, so I then had to bore out from 32mm out to this 54mm. So quite a lot of machining had to go on, but that's the way it is. I can't keep every size drill, especially when they get into the bigger sizes anyway. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed that video. If you haven't already done so, don't forget to subscribe to my channel and give me a like if you enjoyed that video. Ring the little bell so that it'll remind you when I put the next videos on. And look for more videos in the future. And obviously, look back at some videos that I've made in the past. So in the meantime, I hope you enjoyed that, and I'll bid you farewell until the next time. Goodbye.